We want privacy!
Thanks for having us on the show.
It's so awesome to be here. It's great.
So let me start with you, Sam. You've lived a life with the royal family, you've had everything handed to you, but you say your life has been hard, and now you've written all about it.
But it's in America. This is the place they went to escape. This is the place where they thought they would be beloved, and now the Americans are turning on them. I've got mixed feelings. I know I'm going to sound like a total killjoy, but I've read Spare. I've read it cover to cover.
The fact that they felt strongly enough to release a statement shows that the South Park episode has got under their skin, doesn't it?
Well, I mean, they recognised themselves from it. They could have, although it was quite obvious, they didn't have to recognise themselves. They could have just said that's nonsense and not gone further.
He's weathered royal scandals, spilled secrets with Oprah, and even survived a Netflix disaster, but nothing shook Prince Harry quite like South Park. And now, they're back for round 2, this time taking aim at Meghan's pregnancy video. Word is, Harry's losing sleep over a cartoon. Yep, that's what finally broke him.
To deny reports, they are set to sue the makers of the South Park satirical cartoon for this already famous episode. Watch.
Prince Harry probably assumed the worst was behind him. I mean, how much public humiliation can one man realistically take? He'd already endured the Oprah grilling, sat through Netflix documentaries that felt more like therapy sessions, and watched the internet roast every cringy talk show moment. He and Meghan had bailed on the royals, battled the press, and even tried a little self-deprecating humor, kind of. Surely, rock bottom had come and gone, or so he believed.
I mean, totally, like, you should write a book because your family, like, stupid, and then so are, like, journalists. So you hate journalists. That's right. And now you wrote a book that reports on the lives of the royal family. Right.
What Harry never saw coming. The sharpest jab yet, this time, not from tabloids or palace insiders, but from the foul-mouthed geniuses behind South Park. Word in Hollywood's animation circles and a few well-placed tips from media execs says the show's creators are secretly cooking up a sequel to their now infamous Sussex roast. And insiders are warning, this round won't just sting, it'll burn. Want a version with more humor or more dramatic flair?
Now, we should say it's reportedly Harry and Meghan. It has a very similar likeness. They're the royals of Canada. What do you think? Is it?
The last episode took Brutal to a whole new level, mocking their global We Want Privacy tour while they practically climbed into every camera lens in sight. It was savage enough to spark fan outrage, royal silence, and, reportedly, left Harry and Meghan absolutely fuming in Montecito. But if that was just a jab, this sequel's looking more like a full-blown knockout punch.
We are here because privacy is a basic human right. How many more princes and his wives have to live in this nightmare?
The new target? Meghan's ultra-polished pregnancy empowerment video, the one bathed in soft lighting, angelic poses, and yes, a little twerking while cradling what looked suspiciously like a rubber baby bump. It was meant to scream joy and womanhood, but to many it came off as performative at best, painfully cringy at worst. For South Park's savage writers, it was pure gold.
Trauma, and I just worry, and I'm not sorry to pull down the mood and everything.
I want your opinion.
But do you remember when those radio hosts in Australia?
Writers have reportedly zeroed in on Meghan's whole woke influencer meets fertility goddess vibe, and they're not holding back. Sources close to the production say the parody goes beyond soft filters and flower crowns. It's targeting the message, the staged vulnerability, the carefully curated chaos that seems to trail the couple like a PR shadow. If the first South Park episode exposed their contradictions, this one is diving headfirst into the glossy illusion of empowerment, the monetization of personal milestones, and what insiders are bluntly calling the couple's weaponized relatability. Harry, we hear, isn't taking it well. He's already bracing for another storm of viral memes, brutal headlines, and the inevitable late-night comedy beatdowns. As for Meghan, sources say she's livid. Her meticulously crafted public image is her brand, and nothing threatens it more than a cartoon that hits uncomfortably close to the truth.
Can you two keep it down?
Hey! You ever heard of a thing called privacy?
Yeah, nobody gives a shit. Will you two just shut up and go away?
In Montecito, the tension is reportedly thick enough to slice with a crown. PR teams are scrambling, damage control memos are flying, and behind closed doors, the Sussexes are fuming. Once again, a bunch of irreverent animators with zero royal blood and not a British accent in sight are gearing up to drag their names for laughs. But here's the twist. This time, South Park isn't just mocking them, it's holding up a mirror. And the reflection? far less flattering than Harry or Meghan are ready to face. The calm is officially over. The second storm is coming, and it's animated, unapologetic, and built to go viral.
Nonsense. Totally baseless, boring reports. Well, Harry's biography.
To the outside world, Montecito looks like paradise, a picture-perfect estate tucked behind manicured hedges and swaying palm trees, oozing quiet luxury. A sun-drenched fortress of calm. But behind those gates? A very different story. What was once Harry and Meghan's peaceful sanctuary has morphed into a high-stakes command center, a modern-day war room where the battles are fought online and every tweet, meme, and cartoon is treated like a missile aimed straight at their brand.
And then she took her own life. We know that Meghan Markle is a vulnerable character. She's talked about wanting to take her own life. This is mainstream American television, and having read the book, even though I think they're hypocrites.
Staffers who once handled calendar invites and passion projects are now knee-deep in Reddit rabbit holes and the digital underworld of Discord. Every whisper, every leak, and every shady meme is tracked with near-military precision. The pressure? Suffocating. The stakes? Sky high. Crisis meetings now kick off at dawn, with Meghan and Harry's inner circle in full-blown damage control mode, scrambling to outpace the digital avalanche headed their way. Emergency response plans are on revision 23, each version more panicked than the last.
Prince Harry rang up the producer and actually said to him, no, you've got...
Prince Harry, once a proud royal, then a reinvented media brand, is no longer the composed, charismatic figure he tried to project. He's become a man on edge. A man unraveling under the relentless spotlight. Gone are the days of breezing into charity galas or public events with confidence. Now, every waking hour is clouded by one fear: what's coming next? Sources say he's obsessed, rewatching that first South Park episode, frame by frame, trying to predict just how brutal round 2 will be. What could possibly be worse than being roasted for your global privacy tour while oversharing your every move? That question haunts him. And with each passing day, the anxiety tightens its grip. The second blow is coming, and Harry knows it might cut even deeper.
That wrong. And the producer said to him, excuse me, sir. He said, but it's just a cartoon. And that made
it's not even about them, is it?
Well,
it's about a sort.
Meanwhile, Meghan's response has taken a sharper turn. The once composed Duchess of Calm optics is gone, replaced by a woman in full crisis mode. The polished public image? A distant memory. Now she's glued to sentiment dashboards, obsessively tracking every shift in public opinion. Updates are demanded, not requested. Her mind races around the clock, anticipating every jab, every punchline South Park might throw next, because she knows better than anyone, with them, nothing is off limits. But the pressure is cracking them both. Meghan, who once wore grace-like armor, now lashes out at staff with a sharpness that feels foreign even to those closest to her. Inch by inch, she's unraveling. Harry, on the other hand, is retreating. Deeper into silence. Deeper into dread. He's haunted by a single, sinking realization: no matter how much spin they try to control, they've become the punchline. And worse, this time it's not a one-off gag. South Park isn't done. Not even close.
Princess living in Canada. Right. It could be anyone, Angela.
It could be anyone. And it just shows how awful it is if you're hypocritical, and how awful it is if you just think of yourself.
For Prince Harry, it's not the jokes that cut the deepest, it's the helplessness. Being mocked? He's no stranger to it. Late-night comedians, royal biographers, anonymous Twitter trolls, he's been the punchline from Buckingham Palace to Beverly Hills. But this is different. This is South Park. A cultural juggernaut with a global audience and no mercy. And the worst part? It's already done. Sources reveal the animation is finished. Final edits are being polished in some quiet Colorado studio. Voices have been recorded, jokes perfected, and scenes sharpened for maximum sting. There's no stopping it now. No PR statement, no lawsuit, and no please respect our privacy plea will delay this train wreck. It's a slow-motion car crash, and Harry? He's strapped into the front seat, powerless to stop the impact as it hurtles toward him.
That was the bit when the prince wanted to say, I don't want this life anymore. I want to go back and do what we said we would do. That's a very important part.
He's begged for options, any options, but every advisor, from elite PR strategists to seasoned royal aides, has delivered the same ice-cold truth: reacting will only make it worse. Outrage? That's just fuel for the fire. Legal threats? Comedy gold. The more seriously Harry takes the cartoon, the funnier and more meme-worthy it becomes. But silence? That's its own kind of torment. Say nothing and it looks like guilt. Weakness. Worse, like quiet surrender. He's cornered. Trapped between mockery and irrelevance, and whichever way he turns, it's a losing game.
I think that they have, they've spoken, that having wanted privacy, they've then gone and given away their privacy. Even though I think so much about them is wrong, I still feel a deep need to, for mental health reasons, take care of them.
And just when it seemed the humiliation couldn't cut any deeper, it did. Whispers have started echoing from behind palace walls, yes, his old stomping grounds. Insiders are reportedly chuckling behind closed doors, and one senior royal source, with icy indifference, quipped, "If the Queen could survive being portrayed with dancing corgis, Harry can handle a bouncing rubber baby bump." A low blow disguised as humor, but it stings because this time the satire isn't just about him. It's about the carefully crafted narrative. The brand. The image he and Meghan built, and now it's unraveling one punchline at a time.
See that we don't need to prove ourselves anymore. It's what's inside that matters, not what other people think about us. And he opens this enormous mouth of the princess.
Her image, the empowered mother, the resilient woman, the face of modern royalty, is officially under siege. South Park isn't just making fun of her, it's dismantling the persona piece by piece. The yoga-lit videos, the perfectly filtered snapshots of motherhood, the curated authenticity that powers her brand, it's all on the chopping block, and in today's world, once satire sticks, it spreads like wildfire. What starts as parody quickly morphs into perception. And when the cartoon becomes the narrative, it's not just mockery anymore, it's character assassination in 2D.
And I guess from my perspective, absolutely conscious of that. But when you continue to put books out and put series out, I think, Katie, you open...
Harry sees it happening in real time, and the worst part? He can't outrun what he's feeling. This isn't just frustration anymore, it's something heavier. It's futility. The crushing realization that despite all the privilege, the platforms, the supposed power, he still can't protect the woman he loves from a cartoon studio's merciless takedown. And that helplessness is what cuts the deepest. For Team Sussex, the most unsettling blow didn't come from the animation style or the over-the-top humor. It came from the truth buried in the punchlines. The leaked South Park script wasn't some wild parody filled with aliens, conspiracy theories, or magic wands. It hit hard because it was accurate. Painfully accurate. And that's what makes it impossible to ignore.
Amazing echo, and you realise there's nothing there. And my goodness, that's a walloping insult, isn't it?
And this is the last thing they would have wanted, because of course they thought that they were going to be taken very...
The script didn't invent, it reflected. It didn't fabricate, it exposed. It mocked the ever-present ring lights seemingly hardwired into their Montecito mansion, the conveniently leaked call sheets for so-called candid moments, and yes, even the now infamous pillow of truth. That suspiciously wobbly baby bump Meghan flaunted in a choreographed twerk caught on camera. The South Park writers didn't have to dive into fiction. They simply reached into the couple's own highlight reel and turned it into satire.
I think, Katie, you open yourself up to this kind of thing, and it's, I don't know what else to say.
Because when satire stops distorting the truth and starts mirroring it, it's no longer just comedy, it's identity theft, or worse, identity exposure. South Park isn't mocking a brand anymore, it's rewriting it. Etching a new image into the public consciousness, not as global change makers or media moguls, but as cartoon cutouts lit by ring lights, obsessed with optics, and drowning in the chaos they so carefully curated.
So, it's really hard to sympathize with kind of the complaints and the woes of a couple like this. Again, like the episode said, they're very wealthy. He's been handed everything he has on a platter. They're literal royals. They're living in a multi-million-pound house in Southern California. I mean, really, what grievances do you have that most people can relate?
Inside the Sussex household, the vibe has shifted. Zoom calls now dominate the daily schedule, no more morning meditations, no wellness rituals. They've been replaced with legal landmines. Meghan bounces between wellness trackers and backlash sentiment graphs, her screen a battleground of branding and damage control. Meanwhile, Harry is buried in meetings with lawyers across time zones, from sleek Los Angeles firms to the stiff-collared legal old guard in London. Everyone's scrambling. Everyone's searching. Desperate for a loophole.
They're trying to do.
Every time I hear that, it's just so brilliant. A worldwide privacy.
There were so many brilliant moments in there. I think the reality is most people have got the sense that this couple really don't want their privacy, or at least they've done everything.
No matter how savage the jokes, if it's satire, it's protected. Unless South Park suddenly claims Meghan gave birth to a dolphin or Harry's leading a flat earth revival, there's no lawsuit, no injunction, no silencing it. Every desperate plea is met with a shrug. Every legal argument collapses the moment it hits the brick wall of the First Amendment.
Put yourself out there, you open yourself up to criticism, and I totally take on board what you're saying, Ange, and it is a very serious issue.
Even the idea of suing for emotional distress? DOA. One blunt LA attorney summed it up in a single line: you can't parody a lie that's already been self-published. Brutal. And yet undeniable. That biting sentence, soaked in irony, has now become an inside joke, circulating like a grim meme on the Sussex's private Slack, a truth they resent but can't refute, because South Park didn't create the absurdity. It just pressed play on it and broadcasted it to the world.
You know, Meghan thought that the Democratic Party was going to be saying,
Harry and Meghan are beginning to realize the brutal truth. The very tools they once used to control the narrative, polished posts, curated vulnerability, choreographed authenticity, have become the punchline. This satire isn't reshaping their image. It's unmasking it. And when a cartoon reveals more than $1 million brand strategist ever could, that's when the game doesn't just change, it ends.
Very privileged life his whole life, and I know that Meghan is obviously different, and that's not been the case for her, but I did think, I did laugh watching.
Whispers behind the scenes. Their usually polished media team started working the phones quietly. The mission: gather intel, reach out to industry allies, sympathetic producers, anyone with inside access. What's the tone of the episode? Is there room to soften it? Cut a scene? Delay the drop? It wasn't a formal ask, just quiet desperation disguised as casual conversation.
They have become a laughingstock. They are being ridiculed now by their people. That's what's so fascinating. You know, South Park, this is the ultimate in the Hollywood liberal elite set.
Yes. It smashed them to pieces, really. And actually, they were always...
Even the old crowd, the ones who once clamored for selfies at Netflix soirees or toasted them at Soho House, aren't pretending to care anymore. One former acquaintance, now a rising producer, delivered a half-smirked response that hit harder than any tabloid headline comedy: is Karank and they own the mint. Translation: the Sussexes aren't untouchable, they're content. Prime material. And in Hollywood, everyone wants a piece.
I'm not sort of embarrassed to say I did find it quite funny, and I know that it's mainstream media then in America, or mainstream television, but honestly, some of the stuff that they do is so hypocritical. On one hand, they don't want to be in the media, then on the other...
Still desperate, Meghan pivoted. If the power players wouldn't play ball, maybe the internet would. She quietly reached out to influencers, wellness gurus, feminist podcasters, the social justice voices with loyal, repost-hungry audiences. The narrative? Simple, calculated, and emotionally loaded. Mocking a pregnant woman isn't satire, it's misogyny.
In Great Britain was that it was tiny, and Meghan has enormous ambitions to do things globally, how she wants people to be.
Some wanted 5-figure payouts before even considering a caption. Others tiptoed around the issue with polite deflections. We love what you stand for, but this isn't the hill to die on. The boldest response? Silence. The most honest, subtle shade. One influencer posted a quote about authenticity speaking louder than optics, paired with a raw, unfiltered photo of a real mother of 2. The message was crystal clear. Don't ask us to defend what doesn't feel real.
Out themselves and putting themselves out there, which is why I thought it was quite a funny episode.
Yep. Okay, Katie, Angela.
And just like that, another door slammed shut. Now, with the South Park sequel just hours from dropping, the tone online has shifted. It's no longer curiosity, it's carnivorous. TikTok edits are everywhere, ruthlessly splicing scenes from the Sussex's Netflix doc. Those infamous ring light tweaks, the slow motion size, Meghan's perfectly timed tear, matched frame for frame with leaked animation stills. The parallels are brutal. The laughter is loud. And worst of all, the jokes land, because they're familiar. The satire hits hard not because it's outrageous, but because it's drawn from the couple's own, self-published narrative. The world isn't mocking Meghan for being pregnant. They're mocking how the moment was packaged. Curated, overproduced, and hollow. This isn't a PR crisis anymore. It's an identity reckoning. And every door Harry and Meghan open looking for support turns out to be just another trap snapping shut behind them.
You know, those you don't know, don't fly, do this, don't that, stand up for being a woman. And there she is crying.
Do this. Don't do that. Speak up for being a woman, then cry when it backfires. The real storm isn't outside. It's raging inside the Montecito mansion. Behind the carefully manicured gates, the Sussex war room is in chaos. The once polished PR machine, known for its flawless execution and airtight messaging, has fractured. What used to run with military precision is now a scramble of panic, with every new idea sounding more desperate than the last. And the harsh truth? No strategy can fix what's already happened, because South Park, the most irreverent, unapologetically savage show on television, has just done what no royal biographer, no gossip rag, no interview ever could. It redefined Harry and Meghan's legacy. The world is laughing, but for the Sussexes, the damage is personal, deep, possibly permanent. And somewhere inside that war room, amid the frantic whispers and red-marked memos, one silent truth lingers in the air. What if there's no way back?
Non-stop when she doesn't get her way. But it's just that you can't put on all that pretense unless you've got substance underneath.
Sleep has become a luxury Harry can't afford, not because he won't sleep, but because the internet won't let him. Each morning hits like an alarm he didn't set. A fresh viral clip, another jab, another parody chiseling away at the carefully constructed image he once fought so hard to preserve. He's not just being mocked, he's watching his identity unravel. Frame by frame in real time. It's identity erosion, live-streamed and repackaged by TikTok creators who aren't even fans or haters, just bored users chasing the next laugh. The memes are merciless. One viral favorite? A cartoon Harry clumsily juggling 5 ring lights, knocking into a mic boom while an off-screen Meghan barks, more sparkle. Cut to her exaggerated baby bump wobbling like jello as she twirls and twerks to royalty-free music. It's hilarious, brutally so, but only if you're not the one being parroted.
That proved that particular princess, I won't name them, hasn't got any substance.
Influencers are having a field day. Makeup artists recreate Meghan's glow-up with parody tutorials. TikTok comedians drop fake behind-the-scenes empowerment shoot skits complete with wind machines, CGI belly buttons, and exaggerated slow-mo twirls. YouTubers are freeze-framing every leaked scene from South Park, dissecting it like it's the Zapruder film. Commentators are feasting, and Harry and Meghan are the main course. Sentiment trackers tell the story no one wants to say out loud. It's not outrage. It's not hate, it's mockery. And that's the most dangerous kind of public sentiment. Because it doesn't argue with you, it laughs at you. And once the world starts laughing, stopping it is nearly impossible. Behind the scenes, the fallout is spreading. 2 major sponsors tied to Harry's mental health initiatives have quietly requested to reassess brand alignment. A once loyal wellness app where Harry was proudly touted as a modern voice for inner healing now refers to him only as the partner formerly involved.
Beyond anything. But I think Meghan won't make too much fuss about it because she doesn't care about those things. I don't believe that she's very miserable and crying. I think that's the PR putting it for her, so we feel sorry for her. I think it will make her more determined. Yes.
Meghan's lifestyle venture, once hyped as a goop-level disruptor promising high-gloss authenticity and mindful luxury, is flailing fast. What was meant to redefine self-care is now being mocked online as glitter trauma. One viral post nailed the tone, branding her catchphrase ever as ever as the new conscious uncoupling, complete with memes comparing Meghan to a bedazzled Gwyneth Paltrow wrapped in yoga mats and filtered sincerity. Even the most loyal fans are struggling. Fan pages that once gushed over every curated photo, every baby bump moment sealed with a heart emoji, have quietly disabled comments. Not out of betrayal, but survival. We just don't want to become meme dumps, one moderator admitted in a locked subreddit. The internet is in raid mode, and it doesn't care who it devours next.